What's going on, YouTube? Today I've got another great guide for a lot of you fresh accounts and beginners out there. Today we're going to be talking about the best quests to progress your account, whether that be through gear or unlocking bosses. All of these will help you push one step further into that mid or late game. And if you stay around to the end of the video, I actually am doing a NX giveaway at 50 subs. So stay around to the end to hear more information about that. But without further ado, here is going to be the top 9 quest lines that will progress your account. Alrighty, so the very first quest line I got for you guys today is called the Afterlands. This is actually a pretty fun quest to do. It's a little challenging. It's definitely near impossible to do without a guide. That's why I put it at difficulty medium. But with a guide, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. And with the removal of event totems, these are going to be your best in slot permanent totems on the reboot server. There are some other totems that you can get through U Garden, but they're only there for a month. So if you want to grind those out monthly, you can, but these ones will be permanent. The quest line will take about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what your level is, being able to one-shot the mobs, stuff like that. But it's pretty cool quest line. You go through multiple zones. You have to do a few puzzles and challenges. I actually enjoyed it the first time. I recommend only doing this on mains or characters you plan on playing for a long time, because it is kind of annoying to do it on each and every character, because this is one that a quest line that you have to do for each individual character. But as you can see in the bottom left down there, those are going to be the 4 different types of totems. One gives you strength and attack power, dex and attack power, and then the other 2 give you luck and magic attack and attack power, and then int and magic attack. So you can only have up to 3 of these. So one will give you main stat, one will give you off stat, and then the third one will just be for the magic and normal attack. But I recommend doing this one on mains, because that is 3 more equipment slots that you will have unlocked. And yeah, so I will put the video guide for this one in the description below, and I also have a written one as well. These guides will not be by me, so feel free to like and subscribe for them, because they did put those guides out for you. I'm just letting you know which ones are worth doing. The second quest line I'm going to have for you guys today is actually going to be the one that unlocks Magnus. Once you reach level 90, there'll be a little light bulb above your head that says level 90 to Pantheon. That is actually how you start this quest line. You go through Halcyon, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it's how you unlock Easy Simulator, Normal, and Hard Magnus. This is an easier quest line to do, as it is just killing mobs and progressing through the map. So this one can be done in roughly about 40 minutes, so a little bit under an hour, depending on you being able to one-shot mobs or not. This one's pretty important because it unlocks 2 of your party boss sets, which is the shoulder and the badge. That badge you'll be keeping all the way up until Black Mage, so you have that for a very long time. The shoulder you'll be having all the way up until you get Abso, so you'll have that for a good amount of time as well. Earlier on, the cape and the boots are actually going to be best in slot until you get Absolab gear, because they give so much attack power on them base. You will not Star Force these, so it's just kind of a filler in the meantime, but it does increase your range. And with how easy this quest line is to do and how short it is, it's definitely worth doing. Plus, once you get this done on one character, Magnus will be unlocked on all of your characters in the future, so you'll never have to do it again. This is why I recommend this quest line. The Silent Crusade quest line is actually going to be a little bit longer, but for good reason. You're going to get best in slot equipment from it, and you're going to get placeholders early on. You can start this quest line by doing the quest in the light bulb on the left side of your screen. It should say level 90, Silent Crusade, a cry for help. Basically, in this quest line, you're just going to run to these mystical gates around the map, so I highly recommend a hyper teleport rock for this one. And it'll just have you kill a few mini bosses. You'll get a bunch of Crusader coins, which you can turn into mesos if you like. And once you complete this quest line, it will actually unlock the boss Arkarium, and this will unlock it for all of the characters on your account as well. So this one is definitely recommended doing. And once you finish the Silent Crusade questline, or about 3/4 through it, I believe, you're gonna get that ring on the left there, the Platinum Cross ring. This is one of the early on rings that you can potential in Star Force, so it's definitely worth getting, especially if you plan on having, you know, some meso or some drop rings. That's perfect for that. From the actual boss itself, it's going to drop Mechanator and Dominator pendants. The Dominator pendant is actually going to be used later on to transpose into Best in Slot. So technically I would consider this a Best in Slot gear. So once you get this boss, you're already going to have unlocked one of the slots for endgame gear. And it is a very rare drop. I would say most people get, you know, depending on their drop rate, about 1 to 2 a month. Sometimes you can get really lucky and get more. But it's definitely better to start this quest line earlier, so that way you can start stacking up those Dom pendants. This next quest line will be the Root Abyss quest line, and for most people this unlocks the Best in Slot gear for pretty much everyone, unless you're a super sweat. For the rest of the time that you're going to be on this game, that being the top, bottom, and the hat. You will be wearing these all the way until you get the Eternal set, and I wouldn't think about even that set until you reach like 275 plus. So pretty much these are going to be Best in Slots that you're going to get from this. The quest line is really easy. It's just a few talking to people. You can skip the cinematics. It's 15 minutes long. Sadly, you will have to do this on every character, but at least it's a short one. The big problem with this quest line is, in order to get that Best in Slot gear, you actually have to clear the normal difficulty of the 4 bosses that this quest line unlocks for 5 days in a row, or not in a row, sorry, just 5 days. And then you'll be able to start doing the chaos versions of them, which can start dropping the emblems, which make the gear that you see on screen. Right now I just have the warrior equipments up there, for example, but you do get all types, mage, thief, pirate, stuff like that. So you'll get all of them from that. So this quest line is highly recommended, and the earlier you start it, the better. Even if you're not ready to do Chaos Root Abyss yet, at least you can have those 5 daily clears of the normal bosses ready to go. So that way when you are, you can just hop right into Chaos Root Abyss. The Pink Bean questline is actually going to be done either 1 or 2 ways. On some of my characters, I do it to level from 140 plus. That way, it will take a little bit longer. It'll probably take about 2 to 3 hours. But if you can one-shot the mobs, you can easily do it in an hour. It's a very easy quest line. You just kill, I believe it's 200 mobs of each type along the path all the way up to Pink Bean, and at the end of each mini zone there's going to be a little easy boss to kill. But the nice thing about this quest line is once you get it done on one character, you never have to do it again. It unlocks Pink Bean for all of your characters in the future. So this is definitely one for a fresh account or a beginner account that I recommend doing. You can either do it to level your 140, so at least you're progressing while you're leveling, or you could come back and do it at a higher level and just get it done really quick by one-shotting the mobs. But this boss is actually quite vital because it's going to unlock a few things for you. You're going to unlock 2 pieces of the party boss set, which are going to be the belt and the cup very early on. The cup is going to be Best in Slot until you reach Hard Will, and you can get a really high flame score on the cup, so it will increase the range of your account by a lot. The belt's pretty decent too. You might have that for a while, all the way up until you get Golix gear, so you're gonna have this belt for a while as well. If you're super lucky, you can actually get that Pink Bean mark on the left there. That's going to be a really strong piece for the mid game. You'll have this all the way until you have Sweetwater. So you're going to have this for a very, very, very long time. So if you do get this, it drops from normal and chaos. Obviously, from normal, it's going to be super rare. And most people expect to see 1 or 2 a month from the chaos variant. So good luck getting that, but I do recommend this one because it does unlock a boss that does help out all of your future characters, and you never have to do that quest line again. This next quest line I got for you is actually going to be one of my least favorite quest lines to do in the game, sadly, because it is for a boss that gives you some pretty important gear and some best in slot gear. But you have to do it on each individual character. It's not one of the quest lines that allow you to unlock it for all of the characters on your account, so it's pretty annoying. You start this at level 140. It's called the Hazon Temple Regards Takeda Shingen. You can accept this quest from the light bulb on the left side of your screen. It takes about an hour and a half. I put it at difficulty medium because there are some harder bosses which you will need potions for and paying attention throughout this quest line. It's just annoying. You play as a different class that was supposed to be released but never released on the North American servers. So it's called the Ayame, and it's basically a gunslinger from the Kana and Hyoto quest, or their region, I guess you would say. But if you're going to be playing on a main or a bossy mule, I definitely recommend doing this because you will unlock the potential of farming out those best in slot emblems that you see on the right there. This is going to make your best in slot secondary item. I don't believe that there's going to be any secondaries in the game better unless you're playing on a Shadower or a Demon Avenger. So best in slot for most classes in the game, and then you're also going to have a really good ring that can have a lot of stars on it. That Kana ring you're actually going to have pretty much all the way through mid game, and you'll just switch it out during your late game. So this is definitely a boss for your main. I recommend doing 100% on characters that you might not be playing on too much. I think that this is one that you can skip. But as far as progressing your main, I think that this is one that you want to start doing early because it does take about 3 weeks of farming the boss to get enough emblems for that best in slot secondary. If you are an old or returning player, you will definitely remember this zone, NLC. Back in the day, this used to be some of the best farming places in the game. Now they actually recently revamped it and brought it back for a higher level zone. The pre-quest for this I recommend doing because you do get a Star Forceable and Potentialable ring for a very short amount of time. It just takes 15 minutes. You do 3 quests, which are kill 200 of X, Y, and Z mob. So it's super easy. At that 3rd quest, you get a coin, and you can spend that coin on a shop by the main quest givers. So I recommend picking up that ring. Some of the other items might be useful to you, but as far as the most useful item, it's going to be this ring here. And I definitely recommend this one because it's just a early way of getting a ring slot. When I do know a lot of people hit me up and say, you know, I'm having trouble getting rings early on. This is a very easy one to do, only takes 15 minutes. Be sure to take advantage of this one. You do have to do this one on every character, but it is, as I said, you know, just killing 600 mobs. So it's a pretty easy way to get a ring. The next 2 quest lines I'm going to be telling you guys about today are going to be unlocking Absolab for your account. Again, these are very important because they unlock both Damien and Lotus for all of the characters on your account in the future. So you only ever have to do this once. The downside is these quest lines take some time. Not as much the Damien one, but the Lotus one that I'll tell you about in a second takes a good amount of time. As far as the Damien one, you have to start by doing the Heroes of Maple Act 4. You can reach this by the Dimensional Mirror in any main town. And this one takes about 30 minutes. It's kind of a little instanced little quest line that you do. It takes about 30 minutes. It's not that hard. But for the amount of gear that you get from this, it will push you way into mid game, closing up to, this is going to be the gear that you're actually going to use up until you reach late game. So this is a very important quest line to get done. This one's a lot easier than the next one we're going to be talking about. But in order to get the gear, once you finish these quest lines, it will unlock a weekly boss called Damien. The normal variant will drop the shards that you can use to make coins to buy the gear through weeklies as well. And then once you're able to do the hard variant or get carried the hard variant, he'll actually drop the boxes that drop the gear itself. So it's a lot quicker to gear your account with Abso. So obviously I'm going to save the best for last. Just kidding. This quest line sucks. It's going to take about 6 to 8 hours, and it's going to unlock the counterpart for the Damien boss, which is going to be Lotus. This quest line is going to take a very long time. I do not recommend rushing this on a fresh account. But once you do have a setup main sitting at around the 200 level, it's definitely worth going back and doing this, because as I said, this does unlock that best in slot gear all the way up until late game, which is going to be the Abso Lab. So very important, and just remember, once you get this one done, you actually never have to do it on another character again. So it's kind of just like ripping off the band-aid. To start this quest, you just got to be level 120, and it's going to be the Black Heaven quest line in the light bulb on the left side of your screen. I put difficulty medium here just because there's a few puzzles in there that you kind of have to know what you're doing. A few of them I had to look up a guide or two to look it up. So I'll leave that one in the description as well for you guys. But this one does take about 6 to 8 hours. So you don't have to do this all in one sitting. I recommend just chunking it off little by little unless you have that time to just sit down and grind it out. But as far as rewards from this, you'll get the counterpart shards on the left there of the Damien to make more coins to make your gear. You just have to complete the weekly quests in the scrapyard to create the coins. Each piece of gear takes about 2 weeks this way. Otherwise, as I said before, you can get carried the boss in hard mode, or you can run it yourself in a struggle party to get those loot boxes as well, and then that will just give you the gear, weapons, and armor as well. Alrighty, so these are going to be the top 9 quest lines that I recommend people doing on their mains. They will unlock a whole bunch of bosses for the rest of your account. So they're very important. A few of them I recommend just doing on your mains, but all of these, doing these quest lines, some of them shorter than others, will progress your account, increase your range, increase your damage, and allow you to start stepping up your character into that next level of the game. So I recommend doing all of these eventually. Now it's time to get into the good part. Since I've been making videos, I've been getting a lot of good feedback from you guys via YouTube and my Discord, and I just want to give a little bit of thanks for you guys. So I'm actually doing a little event right now. Once I reach 50 subs, anyone in my Discord who is also subbed can be put into the loot pool for a $25 Karma Coin gift card that is used to unlock NX on your account. I just want to say thank you for all of you guys who stuck around to the end of the video and watched. I'm going to be putting my Discord link in the description below. It's also on my channel. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more content in the future. It does help me out a lot. And yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Go!